Hi everybody. So, our next road trip is about to begin, and like all great road trips, it starts on a boat. Anyway, we had a bit of a disaster getting here. We'll explain about that in a second, but we're very happy because we've just managed to secure a pet-friendly cabin for our crossing from Hull to Rotterdam. We were going to have to put Chili in kennels, which would have been a bit gutting, to be honest, especially as it was our mistake that led to us having to take this ferry anyway. But thankfully we've managed to upgrade our cabin to a pet-friendly cabin, which means that the Wower can enjoy the sailing in with us instead of on her own inside a kennel. I was just saying, I thought the windscreen in our van was bad. Plus, as Steph was just pointing out, we're sailing in about an hour and a half and there's not really any water there, which is interesting. So welcome back to cabin 7405 with me, Chris, Chili and the crazy dog woman. So
I admit it.
I think genuinely they've got some of these cabins free for crazy dog people. So if you like had a meltdown when you put your dog in kennels, there's a good chance they're gonna go. Look, it's 50 quid extra if you want a room with your dog, and they'll be like, okay.
So here we are. I am officially the neurotic mother. Chili was booked into the kennels, but then when they booked us in, our van just went straight on to the ferry. So I was like, how's she supposed to have a wee? So I was not happy. So we came to bring her down to the kennels, and the staff here were really great, offered us a pet-friendly cabin, obviously extra cost, but millions worth it. So we've now got a pet-friendly cabin where we can all stay together tonight.
Anyway, the reason we are here and not in Holland, which is where we should be at the moment, is we had a very interesting night last night. So, we had gradually worked our way across the UK, all the way from Wales to Hull. Quite a long, probably about not much further you can get across from side to side. Got into Hull in plenty of time yesterday, checked into our little CL site, our little camper and motorhome club site. Walked into the little local village just on the outskirts of Hull called Cottingham. Nice. Had a meal, had a couple of beers. Back to the van, had another beer. I said, right, let's work out how long it's going to take us to get to the ferry port tomorrow, because it's a 9 o'clock ferry. We don't want to be late. So we goes and looks at the ticket that was sent online, and then we goes to look at the ferry port and realise we're not actually sailing from Hull. We're sailing from Harwich, which is by Ipswich. So at this point in time, obviously I'd had a drink. Steph isn't allowed to drive, and we were kind of locked in our CL site because it was 11:30 at night. So yeah, a bit of a disaster. We'd tried to book a direct ferry from Hull to Holland, and what had happened is the company that we tried to book through had automatically thrown up a Harwich to Holland crossing.
They don't do from Hull.
And yeah, so we were 4 hours away with no hope of getting there, so we unfortunately lost our crossing this morning, but we were lucky we were able to book direct from Hull this afternoon. Now I say lucky, it's probably cost us an extra quite a lot, so we're going to enjoy this crossing, and it's why we're eating crisps instead of in the restaurant as well, to be honest.
Uit ten minste 7 korte stoten, gevolgd door 1 lange stoot.
So, good morning everyone. I had quite a nice night's sleep here on the Pride of Hull stroke Rotterdam. Yeah, it was quite good actually. I'm not great travelling by boat, normally I get a bit motion sick, so actually having the cabin was really good. I had a pretty decent night's sleep actually. Chile, as you can see, can't get settled at all. As she came up, she had like 3 pieces of chicken, went for a wee and then went back to bed, so yeah, if only we could all do that really. So it's around about 8:15 I think in the morning here in Holland, so about 7:15 back home. It's a bit tired, but we are shortly going to arrive in Rotterdam, which is our destination today, or our first destination today, and then the adventure will continue from there. So just checking out our route forward. We're going into Rotterdam and along using the trusty old Google Maps. Unlike our last trip overseas, which was to Ireland, which is effectively just like going into the Britain really. Ireland is a very unique and fantastic place in itself, but in terms of for a driver, apart from the fact you've got to get used to the fact things are in kilometres instead of miles per hour, and obviously they use euros. There wasn't a massive language, that sort of thing. Here we're going to have more of an issue. A lot of Dutch people actually speak English, but must remember to drive on the right. That's quite important. So predictably, our first stop in Holland is supermarket. Boring. It was okay though. The only thing is, and I'll just show you, don't accept MasterCard, don't accept British debit cards. So if you are going to go to one of those, make sure you've got some cash in your wallet. We did, thankfully. So off now to our park for the night. So the first stop of our trip is in this lovely little place. This is the Tusken de Dicken Camperplek. It's on the outskirts of a really cute town, which I'm going to have to tell you the name of in a minute because I can't remember what it is. But it's really cool. It's got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vans. You've got all your facilities. You've got electric, cheap as chips, €12.50 for one night with electric. Can't fault it. So as you can see behind me, you've got fresh water, toilet cassette emptying, grey water emptying. So yeah, we're just about 800 metres from the town of Pingham, I think it said. Apologies, there's going to be a lot of butchering of Dutch, German and Scandinavian languages on this trip. But yeah, outstanding. What a beautiful outlook as well. A couple of horses. Very serene. So Steph's just about to do the last of the pre-flight checklist now. We've just filled up our water, we filled up our emptied our toilet cassette, already filled that up sadly, and dumped our grey waste. It looks as though there's no bins here, but that's fine. Most of the sort of roadside parkings have got bins and things on them. Yeah, so what a lovely place just outside Pingham. I hope that's how you say it, sorry Dutch people. But brilliant facility, and thoroughly recommend you call here. It's ideal for us stopping as we are sort of gradually working our way across to Scandinavia from here. So yeah, thoroughly recommended. Make sure you call here if you get the chance. So we were down to about half a tank of gas, so just topped up now with diesel. About the same as back home, I think. It's €2.16 roughly for a litre, and we've managed to get rid of our rubbish from last night, which is good. So it's quite these good, like these little service stations. Then you got park ups next to them, and they're quite regularly dotted along the motorways here, which is really helpful. So yeah, onwards now. Should be coming to our next country very soon. So, we're in Germany. Really, really good driving through Holland. You know, didn't know what to expect really, but we drove the entire width of the country really, from Rotterdam or Europort, the other side of Rotterdam, all the way through to the German border. We weren't held up once in traffic in all that time. The system's really, road system's easy to understand, really well signposted, really easy driving for somebody who's not used to driving on the right. So yeah, that was really cool. So tonight's park up is in a place called Stortel, which is a few miles south of Bremerhaven, and Steph found it on Park for Night. It's free for 24 hours with dedicated motorhome spaces. There's a little hotel next to it with a restaurant and bar as well. Excellent. So we're just taking Chili down because the car park itself is serving a really lovely lake, so just gonna have a look around. So we was just chatting coming through the border actually a little earlier. Neither of us have been to Germany before. Steph has learned some German in school, so she's going to give me some pointers later. I've been to Holland before, but that was like a long time ago. I was playing football at the time in school. It was just basically a really good jolly for a couple of weeks, going away with your mates. But yeah, not as an adult, haven't been back there. So shame we've had to fly through Holland so quickly, and Germany will be exactly the same. We might spend 2 nights here. We may only spend the one, see how we get on tomorrow when we go in further north. But we are planning, as I said earlier really, we are planning to come back and do a proper road trip around Holland and Germany next year, if everything goes to plan. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that.
So, definitely can't miss out on this opportunity to go for a gorgeous swim in this lake, despite this. Swimming prohibited, danger of drowning. However, I have just seen lots of people swimming, so I'm going for it. Oh, the swim of the year, bloody lovely. Just kind of like a cool bath. See lots of little dragonflies. Oh. Gorgeous.
So we had a lovely night here last night in our little park up. The hotel was lovely, so we went in, had some really good German beer and some really tasty schnitzel. So yeah, you gotta do that. Even had some sauerkraut. Cool. But we're all set to go on now. So we're gonna see how we get on today. We've got a bit of a drive ahead of us. Either way really, but we may get into Denmark before the end of the drive, or we may just stop this side of the border in Germany. See how we get on now. So we've had to make a decision here. We had 2 options really. One is to drive all the way into Hamburg and then which is down the Elbe River. And then it is the Elbe, but you get to Hamburg, like we'd go around the ring road and then drive all the way back up the other side. So much like we did in Ireland, we've decided to just catch a ferry. So there's one just departing across the Elbe from a place called Wischhaven.
Yeah.
So so that's we're in the queue now.
Yeah.
There's like a kilometre of queuing for a half-an-hour ferry or a 20-minute ferry. But if I'm honest, like by the time we'd have driven down to Hamburg, around and back up again, we'll have just sort of used all that fuel and all that time up anyway. So it's just be a bit more relaxing just to chill out here, wait for the ferry, and then get crossing.
Yeah. And also will give us time to practice how to ask for a ticket.
Yeah. So €24 to cross here, which would probably be about 19-20 quid, I think. It's not bad at all, really. We'd have had to, I think it's probably a 70 or 80 kilometre each way trip into Hamburg. So yeah, so we saved ourselves a hassle of that. Just sat and had some lunch while we were waiting. So tonight's park up's a little more rough and ready than what we've seen so far, but it is free. So we're just on the outskirts of a town. I might wander in because we need to get some shopping now, and there might even be a nice place selling German beer here. So but yeah, we never made it all the way into Denmark today. It was just going to be too much of a drive. It's 30 degrees here as well. It's absolutely sweltering, so I think we all need a bit of a break from the drive, to be honest, including the van. So yeah, a really peaceful night last night in this little stop off. We did have a neighbour over the night, but they arrived quite late and they were gone before we got up this morning. It's sweltering again this morning. It is, according to my van, 33 degrees at the moment. So we are just going to go nip into the town quickly for some supplies, maybe get some fuel as well, and then yeah, head further north. So we've made it into Scandinavia. We are in Denmark, but we're not going to say too much about that at the moment. We are going to wrap this vlog up now, I think, and start fresh in Denmark with next week's edition. Thanks very much for watching. As always, if you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And we'll see you all next week. Cheers.